I would like to know who is 셈야제의. Can you explain a little bit more about who that person is and why he's important?
Okay, that's a very good question. 셈야제의 is a female cosmonaut coming from the Pleiades. And I first learned about her, I think in 1974, 75. A lady who lived in Mount Shasta had a friend, Wendell Stevens. He was a lieutenant colonel in the US Air Force, and he was invited to investigate this contact, this UFO contact that was happening in Switzerland. So this fellow, his name was Billy Meyer. So Billy Meyer was the Swiss farmer who started having these contacts, and this was not channeling, this was not psychic contacts. The spacecraft actually landed and he was taken on board, or the woman cosmonaut got off and talked with him. And in the beginning, he would be told, he would get the message telepathically, go to this place, like at the end of this road, there is a field, you go in the field, I will meet you there, like at 2:00, So he would go there and she would show up, or she'd be there waiting. And sometimes she'd say, I can only stay a little while because the Swiss Air Force knows that I'm here and they're going to send military people. So we only have 10 minutes to talk, There were other times when they actually took him up into the spacecraft. The craft did not land. He was just beamed up like on Star Trek. Now, my friend Wendell was sitting with him in the farmhouse in Switzerland. They were drinking coffee, and Billy said, oh, they just gave me a signal. It's time for a contact. So he got up, he opened the kitchen door, walked outside. Now it was raining, and there was a farmyard there, and there was a lot of mud. There was 1 footstep in the mud, an imprint of his foot. Now, my friend Wendell was right behind him, went out the door right behind him. Billy disappeared in front of him, just boom, gone. And there was 1 footstep in the mud, no second step. About an hour later, they got a phone call, come to this village. It was about 10 kilometers away. They went there and picked him up, and he was dry. Now, he'd be out in the rain for an hour, but he was completely dry. And he described the contact that he had with them. And he was given a lot of information. Now, this was not, there's a book actually you can get that has these contact notes. And I think it's called UFO Contact from the Pleiades, and you can download it free from the internet as a PDF. And in those notes, he had, I think in the course of 6 months to a year, he had many contacts, maybe 1 a week. And he was told information about the future. He was told certain world events that were going to happen. And at this point, most of those events have happened already. So that really proves that they had something. This was not some channeling that was a fantasy or something. He was having real contacts, and the information was accurate. And another thing they said, which has been told to humanity over and over, they have seen that there will be a third world war unless humanity can stop the nuclear arms race. And they said they can travel in time, not just space, they can travel in time. So they can go into the past, they can go into the future. And they have seen that happening unless we can bring that to a stop and establish peace and harmony on Earth. Billy was told many things. And after a while, I think, well, definitely after a year, he stopped having actual physical contact. Then he started channeling information, and I don't have the same faith in that information as what he was given physically. But she was a real physical person, and he was taken up physically in the ships. And my friend Wendell witnessed it. So again, it's the same message that Robert Byrd was given, the US commander who went into Antarctica, went into the South Pole and saw the UFOs there. And they told him, you must stop this building of nuclear warheads or it will end in disaster for humanity. So that's sort of who Semyazeey is. And I had contact with her once, this time at Lake Louise, where I was taken on board a ship out of the physical body, but it was totally vivid. And she was the commander of this small pilot craft. And that's where Saint Germain was on board with me. And I talk about this in my book, Apprentice to the Masters. So one thing we can all do is to send out more light to the world, and to people personally who are suffering, especially the violet consuming flame. Violet is the color of light that is the most purifying and helps burn up karma. So you can imagine you're the goddess Tara, violet Tara of the violet consuming flame. I am sending out violet light to humanity, especially to all those that I know that may be suffering, and dissolve and consume any negativity or karma that they may have, and raise them into the consciousness of their God presence. I thank you. So that's just one simple thing everybody can do, or to see people enfolded in light, even the world leaders. Pray for the world leaders. May they find the love in their hearts, and may they open to the wisdom of God, the wisdom of the masters. And I call on God to come forth in all people who hold positions of power, and all the military forces seize all nuclear weapons and make them non-functional, and see to it that there is peace on earth. And all those people who are deserving of it are raised into the light, into the God consciousness of heaven on earth.